Hello and welcome to the Wedding Filmmaker Spotlight Series. I'm Victor Fox. I'm a wedding filmmaker out of Vancouver, BC. And in this series, I go through the best wedding filmmakers in the industry and try to figure out what makes their films so good so that we can put the little bits of spice that they have into our films and make our films that much better. So today I'm looking at the Brothers Martens out of New York, I believe. And we're going to be looking at this one section that I think is just unbelievable in this film right here. So let's go ahead and take a look. So this is the film. This is their webpage, beautiful webpage, very elegant, very clean. This is the homepage. So the homepage has no scrolling ability, which I love. I love that. This is just, and there's really no text. I mean, no text. It's kind of crazy for SEO purposes, but I really like how clean it is. And I like that the logo disappears after that first image and it just kind of shows up here. I like how the heading or the header bar rather is like transparent. I think that's really clean as well. Beautiful images. I'm really a big fan of GIFs. I think GIFs really like, they're kind of better than the film clips in one sense because they can be as high resolution as these images, but still like introduce movement. So something to think about. So if we go to this, we go to the films. This is the film in question, Nice, France, Hillary and Jeremy. So we're going to be looking at time code 0 to 1 minute 3. So let's check it out. And what I really like about this is I want you to pay special attention to the sound design. I want you to pay special attention to the blocking and just think about like how all of these shots were achieved, because I don't know if it's one filmmaker or two. I think it's two. It's the Brothers Martens. Let's check if it's one or two. It's two. Okay, so there's two guys. I think what they're doing is they're setting up these shots, but they're trying to make it feel like it's a very organic and just kind of fly on the wall kind of situation. But if you pay special attention, I think you'll see that there have been some special there's been some thought that's being put into where the camera's going to be and the blocking and all that kind of stuff. So let's take a look.
We just felt like a weekend was safer.
It's going to be brutal. I'm going to go back to work on Monday.
I feel like it's
6
a
hour
little
difference.
harder for me because I have to go back to work, but you can tell all your colleagues, whereas my colleagues are part of the reveal party, so I still have to lie for a whole other week.
Wow.
That's true.
So where did this idea of eloping come from?
When we went to Paris for our first trip together, we played 30 questions? 36
a number of
questions to
questions.
love, a certain kind of question. And one of them was, what's your ideal day? And we both described a really similar day that was like
It's true, yeah, we did.
travel with friends, and there's like
Water and boats.
water and food and music. And so then somewhere along the way that morphed into that idea, which should have been a simple idea, but became like the most complex idea I've ever had.
I mean, when you have the most beautiful bride ever.
How nice was that last shot? Let's go look at that last shot real quick. How nice is that? I really love the bokeh happening here. Like I love that shallow depth of field. I love this like green. It's like the tree and the lights. They're all just like blooming. It looks fantastic. I think there's probably some diffusion filtration going on here. So yeah, what I really love about this is the sound design. It's mostly the sound design. You know, we have the clanking of plates. We have really clean audio from the groom and the bride, and even the guests have really clean audio. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an audio recorder on the table somewhere. I'm pretty sure the groom is laved. I think you can spot it, or spot a cord maybe. I thought I saw one. Let me see if I can find that. I'm pretty sure he's laved. I think in this shot.
Went to Paris for our first trip together.
Just before he raises his arm up.
When we went to Paris.
Am I crazy or do I? Is that a cord? Let me just. I think this is a cord, this shape here, but I could be crazy. But yeah, I love the sound design, the music in the background. All of it is amazing. The shallow focus, the handheld camera work, I think maybe the whole thing is in a higher frame rate. Could be wrong. Could be multiple cameras. Maybe one camera is like the ones that got this B-roll here. Like obviously those are shot in a higher frame rate, but maybe there was like a conversation cam and a B-roll cam. And yeah, I mean, obviously there was a higher frame rate at some point, but I'm thinking that, yeah, you can take a look at these shots. Like this very first shot, we have them kind of walking in, and they're checking out the table and all of that stuff. But it's like kind of the establishing shot where they're coming in, and then we have this other shot of pouring this drink here, and then we have, and that's such beautiful bouquet. Oh my God, love it. And if we go forward, we got this nice shot. This is really like the couple's conversation shot. That's a very main shot. And then we have these kind of pickup shots. So I'm thinking it could be one camera, but it could also definitely be two cameras, with one camera kind of like locked on the couple and the other camera kind of moving around, maybe even in a higher frame rate, getting B-roll and reactions. So very, very cool. Another thing I wanted to mention, which I thought was interesting, was the color temperature. The candles are like pretty white. I would think that, usually you would go, that's not a very flattering still. I would think you would normally go with a more warm temperature, but I really think that this works, and I'm not sure why they went with this color temperature for the candles. I would like to see what it would look like even warmer. Maybe it's because there's some like warm lights behind them, or maybe maybe these were all tungsten and this one was like more tungsten. I don't really know. I don't know why they would go with this color temperature, but it looks fantastic. I love it. Also, the grain I think is really interesting. It's definitely adding something which is really nice. Overall, it's a beautiful scene, and I think it's something that we could all aspire to create in our own films. I mean, if you handed a couple this, they would just lose their minds. This is like absolutely stunning. So yeah, and I think that the key takeaway is, if you want to do something like this, you got to have, obviously like a really nice table set up, and it definitely helps to have like candlelight, seclusion, almost. I think a lot of it really does come down to the sound design. You really want to have a quiet environment where you can have everyone mic'd up and there's not really any like sound pollution. Obviously, a darker background is better. So shooting this kind of thing at night with a lot of silence around, with a lot of darkness and silence. Because I mean, at most weddings, they're not this. Insular, they're not this small, the gathering. Maybe in an elopement situation you can do this kind of thing, but I think you would be hard pressed to get the kind of audio quality that they're getting here, and the kind of, it's really like sucking you in, I feel like you would be hard pressed to get that when you had a very crowded kind of room or a crowded dinner hall or something like that, banquet hall, where everyone's eating and whatnot. So that's key, because then you can add in that music in the background. You can add in the clinking of the plates to really build up that atmosphere. So atmosphere is key for this kind of thing. And I think, like I said, you could do this with one camera, but I think that this is probably a two camera setup. One camera locked in on this angle with the couple, and then another camera getting those reverse shots. So that's the end of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel to see more content like this in the future. I'll be doing a lot more videos like this as the weeks go on. And go and give the Brothers Martens some love. Tell them that I sent you. And let me know in the comments section, is there anything that I missed that really brought this scene together for you? I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. All right, so that's the end of this video. I'll see you in the next one.